Hello, everybody, and welcome to SciChat. This week, of course, is a special edition of SciChat. I'll be celebrating Christmas, and many of my teammates will also, or whatever you happen to celebrate. Happy that holiday. If it's Christmas, Merry Christmas. And so this week, we're not going to do a full-on a full-on side chat. I'm just going to present a little Christmas data, actually, that I gathered not too long ago that I think is actually pretty groundbreaking. So we're just going to present a little bit of that, not the full 30 minutes this week, but just that, and we'll jump back into everything after the holidays and in the new year. So I did some analysis, and I grabbed a corpus of data that I think is really fundamental to the question of what is the scientific take on the Christmas holiday. And what I found is that we can apply the same kind of analysis we do to social media to the holiday, and more specifically to the reindeers, to understand which reindeer is the most influential reindeer. Of course. Now, the best way to do that, I think, is by measuring mentions, right? So with a Twitter user, if you get mentioned a million times a day, you're probably Justin Bieber. If you don't get mentioned as many times in a specific day, then you are obviously less influential. So in taking that quantitative take and applying it to a beloved holiday song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, in fact, what I was able to find, I think, is really interesting, is that most of the other reindeer, Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen, are all basically mentioned once throughout the entirety of the song. However, one reindeer stands heads and tails, perhaps a nose above the rest, and that is, in fact, Rudolph, with 8 mentions in that same song. So I don't think the takeaway here is necessarily, change your name to Rudolph and instantly become the most influential reindeer. What I think the takeaway here is for marketers is that the other reindeer, at least according to that song, didn't really have anything about themselves that let them differentiate themselves from the pack, from the other reindeer pulling Santa's sleigh. Rudolph did, though. And he had something that was very unique, and at first glance actually might have seemed like a setback, as a challenge, right? He had this glowing red nose, and nobody else really liked him. They didn't let him play in their reindeer games. And so we as marketers must think about who we are as marketers, who we are as a personal brand, and what our brand means to the market in general. How are we different than our competitors? And that may be something that initially seems like a disadvantage, right? Are we smaller? Do we have a smaller budget? Do we sell a more niche product? All of those things can be spun into being more, rather than outspending. If you have a smaller budget, maybe you can outsmart. If you have a smaller product or you have a smaller team, maybe you are more nimble than your competition. Whatever that is, you really have to understand what is your red nose. What is that element that you have that your competition does not have that you can leverage to become the most influential reindeer or brand in your industry? So with that piece of data, thank you everybody for listening to this week's edition of SciChat. Again, if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. And if you don't, Merry or Happy, whatever holiday you do enjoy. And of course, we're going to have a great New Year's celebration next week as well. So I look forward to talking to you guys again. And remember, find what your red nose is and use it to your advantage. Thank you, everybody.